Greetings from the corner of the basement. This is my 1938 Silvertone console radio, model 6152. I've had this radio since about 1984 or 85. I picked it up. Got it from a rummage sale in Hartford, Wisconsin. And it's been sitting in the basement ever since then. I used it quite a bit throughout the 80s. I remember I was polishing the cabinet in June of 1987 when I heard that Fred Astaire had passed away. It seemed rather fitting to be able to hear a legend like that passed away on a radio like this that heard so much history over the years. And then the following October of 1988, I listened to the 50th anniversary broadcast of the War of the Worlds on this set, which was really something to hear a 1938 radio broadcast over WBBM in Chicago on a radio that dated from 1938. And this set, Silvertone, was made by, or actually was sold by Sears Roebuck Co. And this particular radio has the original guarantee that was, I found it in the back of the set. From Sears Roebuck Co. It's dated September 10th, 1938. That makes it all the more special. Just recently I did a revamp on this radio. I took it apart and completely cleaned it. It already was working. It still plays good. But the cabinet was getting kind of shabby, so I refinished the black on top of it and down by the base and the grill. And I doctored up the grill cloth a little bit, touched it up with a little bit of gold paint, because it had a nice pattern on it that was the original pattern and you can't, impossible to find anymore. So that lightened it up a little bit. There were some stains on it anyhow. And I redid the station call letters. There's 8 presets on there that aren't necessarily for radio stations that these are set for, but they look better than having nothing on there. And I had to recolor in all the numbers on the dial face. Everything was worn off. There wasn't a one number that was dark anymore. And had to give the cabinet a Minwax treatment, which really brought out the original finish. I'm one of these restorers who's not one for going to great lengths in refinishing a radio if at all possible. I try to do whatever I can to maintain the original finish and bring it out as it originally appeared. And I found using Minwax Golden Oak and just taking a rag and wiping it over the original finish, it'll absorb into the dry wood and just bring out a shine like you wouldn't believe. Now I mainly collect Philco radios. And the only reason that I keep this set is because it has the rare green magic tuning eye that was so popular in the late 30s and into the 40s. You can see it right in the middle. And this original tube had burned out sometime in the late 1980s, so I hadn't seen this lit up in between 25 and 30 years. Just recently, this past week, as a matter of fact, I found an original tube. Original green tube. It's a 6U5, I believe, that was in working order. So for the first time I was able to see the green light light up again, and I'll show it to you right now. It has to warm up like all the other tubes, of course. There she goes.
Everything's the best of all possible worlds. Everything works out for a reason. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe anything works out for a reason. I think it's random. And my brother said something to me in my first novel, which is so dirty that my mother wanted to wash my mouth out.
It's kind of hard to see with the light on. I'm going to stop this video.
Right at the funeral, he said,
stop the video, and then I will show it to you with the lights out. You can see it much more clear that way.
One fellow who's pleading for the world, kind of.
Okay, here we are in the dark. You can kind of see the green glow of the tube a little bit better. And what happens when you tune into a station, the little V shape on the right side will close in closer as the signal gets stronger. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this or not, but we'll try. There it kind of spreads out a little bit because there's no signal. Now when we get a little bit closer to the local station, which comes in good and strong, it should start to close up a little bit.
Over and over in your mind. In the end, you have to accept it, but you can't understand it, and I think that's the best we can do.
No comfort in faith, then.
I don't have an external antenna on this set, so there's really not a great difference, but that gives you an idea of what the tube does.
I think the worst thing.
And one of the appeals of these old radios to me is just what this picture is illustrating. Sitting in a darkened room like this and looking at the dial, it takes you right back to when this set was new. And you can just picture yourself being in 1938 and staring at the green glow of the dial and listening to old radio shows like The Shadow and Inner Sanctum, some of those spooky shows like that that would really enhance the listening.
Have any individuals made it worse?
Just to
better or easier or some comfort?
Show off the radio a little bit more.
Alarmingly dense things to you?
No, people are really,
Show you what the top looks
when
like.
you're a child who dies, and people are going to be very skittish around you because what is there to say? This is a very common question, and until it happens to you, you read about it and you go, yeah, that's right. But it really is true here that if someone you know has had a terrible tragedy, just be there for them.
Show up and shut up, Robert
Don't
Kushner.
say, you just, I love you, I'm sorry. The first week, as I said to Kate and Alexander.
So there you are. Hope you enjoyed it.
Right after I got off the phone.